before in the past. I am giving you 10 points for doing this. So this includes all my online folks. Okay. All my online people. Okay. You still need to do this as well. And you need to get at least, here's how this is going to work. If you get at least one correct, you get 10 points. Okay. Now listen. Okay. Everyone, and I'm saying everyone, okay, in my first period class got at least one right. Okay. I won't tell you the high score. They have challenged me. My first period class was very excited about this today. So they have challenged you to see if you could get better than they did. Okay. They were pretty cocky. They were like, tell us who's in your class. And I told them who, and they were all like, no, we got this. Okay. So I'll just tell you right now. Okay. Some of you might need to bring your A game. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to send you a link. Okay. On Google Classroom. So everybody open up Google Classroom right now. We're going to open that. Okay. Once we have that open, it will go into the lockdown browser. Okay. It is just only 10 questions. I am going to read these questions. Okay. Once we read these questions, okay, you can answer. Some people just wanted to kind of go faster than me. That's fine. Okay, but it's not in the packet. We're not using the packet. Okay, we are just, oh, look, it's Sladen. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to send this to you in a second. Folks online, if you want your 10 points, you still need to do this, and then we'll analyze it. We'll see how well we do. I will not release the scores today because, of course, we've got several people gone, though I will tell you what you got. If you want to know what you got, then I will show you, because my first period class, they were like, please tell us what we got. I want to know. So, and then I'll tell you what they were on average, okay? Do not blow this off, okay? Take this seriously. Again, you have to get 1 out of 10 correct to get 10 out of 10 points, okay? That's all I'm asking you to do. And it's definitely, well, I will tell you, there is a possibility. I won't tell you yet what the high score was. I was great. I thought for sure my first period class, there would be at least 5 people that would get a 0 out of 10 on this. Not one person did. Okay. All right. So, okay, I'm going to send you this link right now. Okay. And then I will read the questions. Okay. Again, you do not have to follow me. You could just go through it, but I'm asking you to not, like, no one should be like, I should not look up and all of a sudden have like people finished. Okay. Like as I'm reading the first question, at least try this. Okay. All right. Again, this is going to be also a little bit of a competition between Greta's class and our classes. And so we'll see. Most of these things we have not talked about. Okay. But there's one thing, actually, there's 2 things on here we have talked about for sure. Okay. So just real quickly to see who we're missing. We've got, of course, Steven's still out. Chelsea's still out. Okay. There's Sloan over there. Okay. Vanessa's gone. And we're good. Okay. And I'm so glad to have Lincoln back. All right. So let me close this real quickly. Okay. I will put this again on Google Classroom.
Hey, Zach, I didn't even get railroad tracks. I'm going to have stuff in my feet. I must have a list. I swear I'm going to kill you guys. That's the only thing you're having to worry about. I just won't speak with an S. That's going to be really hard. I don't even know how to do that.
All right. It should be out at this point.
Good idea, Jim.
Okay.
It works.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably get that. No, if we had. Yeah, right. I didn't even see it. I don't know.
We did learn things.
All right. Trey, get there. All right. Now, again, you can read these on your your own. I want to read these just to give some, help for those people who may not know how to pronounce some of these words. Here we go. The first question goes like this. The cell membrane of the red blood cell will allow water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and glucose to pass through because other substances are blocked from entering. This membrane is called,
Perforated membrane.
okay,
boys.
shh, Trace, really,
Shut your mouth.
okay?
Who says that?
Is it, guys, is it perforated, selectively permeable, non-conductive, or permeable? Give me a second, and then I'll read the next one. Eukaryotic cells are differentiated from prokaryotic cells because eukaryotic cells are much smaller, have permeable membranes, have a higher rate of reproduction, have membrane-bound nuclei. Go with the next one. The plasma membrane of a cell consists of protein molecules arranged in two layers with polar areas forming the outside of the membrane, two layers of lipids organized with hydrophobic tails forming the interior of the membrane, lipid molecules positioned between two carbohydrate layers, or protein molecules with many mitochondria. Which of these best completes the concept map below? So you see the question marks. Over to the left is surrounded by a rich coat of cellulose, a rigid, or contains mitochondria, chloroplast, also has DNA and a well-defined nuclear membrane. Is that an animal cell, a prokaryotic cell, a virus, or a plant cell? Which cellular organelle is responsible for packaging and shipping the proteins that the cell secretes? Cytoskeleton, cell membrane, lysosome, Golgi apparatus. Which molecule in plant cells first captures the radiant energy from sunlight? Glucose, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, or adenosine triphosphate, also known as ATP? A cell from heart muscle would probably have an unusually high proportion of lysosome, mitochondria, mRNA, or Golgi bodies. A student read an article that said eggs kept in warmer temperatures result in more males being born. They designed an experiment to test this, placing 10 painted turtle eggs in a warm incubator set at 28 degrees Celsius and 10 eggs at room temperature, 22 degrees Celsius. They recorded the sex of each hatchling and found that all of the eggs in the incubator were males, and only 2 of the room temperature eggs were males. What is the dependent variable in this experiment? The sex of the hatchlings, the temperature the eggs were kept in, the number of eggs in each group, or the species of turtle? Which process does this diagram model? and those words might be a little hard to see, so let me read those. Glucose in high concentrations outside the cell membrane, and glucose in low concentrations inside the cell. Is this energy conversion, synthesis of new molecules, transport of molecules, or genetic expression? Last but not least, which statement best describes the role of the cell membrane in this model? Some students use vinegar to dissolve away the shells of 3 eggs and use these eggs as models of human red blood cells. The students observed the changes in the eggs when they were placed in different solutions. So the solutions are on the left, 300 milliliters of 5% vinegar solution. The middle one is 300 milliliters of pure water. On the right is 300 milliliters of corn syrup solution. Is it the cell membrane is an impermeable barrier that prevents water from entering the cell. The cell membrane allows solutes to enter the cell, which causes the cell to shrink. The cell membrane allows water to enter and leave the cell, or the cell membrane removes solutes from the environment. Please submit it when you're done. Okay, it's all right. Well, it is worth the grade. Yeah. So let me give you the background on what we're doing here. So you've got this e-learning thing coming up December 7th. We're meeting with this guy and from, I think he's in California. And we're kind of looking at like, okay, what if we give you a pretest, like what's your knowledge? Okay, so we really haven't talked about some of this stuff, but like some of it might be familiar from like 7th grade, 6th grade, a little bit of 4th grade. Like even just the other day, Linus, who's in kindergarten, started talking about one of these questions. I'll tell you which one that is in just a second once everyone's turned this in. Let's see how we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, that's everybody. Okay, let's check out the scores here for y'all. See how you did. The thing that my son was talking about was chlorophyll. He wanted to tell me all about chlorophyll in plants and how he was very excited and how the leaves are changing color. You know, now they have STEM, and they all have Mr. Eichenauer for STEM, and they love it. Both my boys are just like, you know, they're just, oh yeah, he said it's like their favorite part of school right now. So, all right, here we go. I will tell you that the highest score in the last period class was a 7. Okay, the highest score in this class was a 6. Okay, so we had 3 6s, but congratulations, every single one of you in this room got at least. Yeah. Okay, now listen, I will come around, I'll show you which ones you got. I am shocked at the scores here. I did not think, I was like, Greta and I talked about this. She's doing this with all of her classes today too. And so we're talking about stuff and she's just like, I'm like, man, they're these guys, they haven't heard about a lot of this stuff. Like I was shocked at 6s. I was shocked at 5s. So this is really encouraging to me that at least you've heard about some of these things. Now, my first period class, they're like, we just like guessed, right? It doesn't matter. Like at least you got it. The only one that I hope that you would have gotten right was the dependent variable, right? That was the one that you should have gotten right. And that was, what were you looking at? What was the dependent variable there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind, I haven't answered. You'll skip that next, but
No.
I want to hear from someone else.
What's that? Here's the question
I think
again.
I messed it up.
It goes, no. We'll look at your scores later. I mean, I'll show you your score if you want to see it. But here it was. So the choices were the sex of the hatchlings, the temperature at which the eggs were kept, the number of eggs in each group, or the species of turtle.
Okay, I think I know.
Yeah.
Did the sex of the.
Yep,
It's
It's
a
a
depends on the
sex.
temperature?
yeah,
Dang it, I
yeah,
did it
that's
backwards.
because that's what we were recording. That was dependent.
Oh. I did
Okay,
it
we were
backwards.
recording so we changed, what did we change? We changed the temperature, that's the independent. We recorded the sex because they said they recorded the
Okay,
sex
no,
of
no.
each hatchling. We figured out the mess. Do you want to see what you got?
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you read mine out
so
loud?
I'm not gonna read them out loud, but what I'll do is I will just come around and I will show you, it will be highlighted in blue. Okay, it'll be highlighted in blue. There you go. There you go, that one. Okay, and clear. There you go. Up there. Morning. There you go. Okay. There you go. Okay, ready?
I bet you it's like a 3.
See if it's like a green. There you go. It's a blue.
Yeah. That was close.
Okay.
Wow.
Jack. Blue. See the blue? Jay.
You have less than me.
I'm like so pumped that everybody, I'm like, not even, like, I didn't even have to lie here to tell you that, like, you got.
Did you get like a 2?
There you
Oh
go.
my gosh, dude.
I got
Yeah. Look at this, buddy.
Let's go, Tyler. That
Go,
boy.
Tyler.
All right, we got nerd of the class. Myra's gonna have like 6.
Oh, yeah, it's good to see you again.
He's lying. Is that Tyler beat Tyler?
Hey,
Tyler.
you didn't get a zero.
Tyler.
I'm still
Tyler.
Bro, you actually got a 6, bro. Yeah, bro. Oh my god. I probably got a.
What'd you get, Myra? What? They told you.
Oh my god.
Look at this, dude.
Oh my god.
What'd you get? Like a
4 out of 10.
attaboy. Me too.
I swear to God.
And
You did
Jay
better
over
than me.
here. Jay.
Can't believe it. I thought I got nothing.
There's my phone. He probably has it rigged.
Ooh, Tyler.
Why is this snake game so popular? See, like,
I got a
so many
4 to
people
play.
play it. I was just playing it, but.
I just saw Isaac.
All right.
Yeah, Clint. Percent missed.
No,
I got 2 right.
bro, I got. How did I get more than you?
Because
I just went so fast. I went like click, click, click,
Incredibly
done.
proud of you.
Bro, I don't
we
know.
did better than the last class.
You did. Well, I'll have to look at, like, okay, here's what I'll do is I will, let me do, I can do this real quick. I didn't even think about this. Let me see if I can get, the sum here and, if it'll give it to me. Or we'll go average. So the average here is, your average was 3.5789. Okay, are you ready for, let's go the other class. Let's see what their average was. So, hold on, I gotta find their form.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious, because they got a couple 7s, but you guys got more 6s. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Okay, here we go. You ready? Oh, what's it gonna be? You guys cocky? You think you got it? Here we go.
What'd you say,
Come on. They did have more people take it. They had 25 people take it. Okay, but here we go. Hold on a second.
Oh my God, Jace.
All right, you ready? They got, on average, 3.84. Your average was
Above average.
3.6. So they beat you by just a little, but
I don't think
Steven hasn't taken it yet.
Hey.
Okay, right?
Chelsea
Okay.
hasn't. She's
Chelsea hasn't taken it yet.
Slade
So
hasn't. He's
Slade hasn't taken it yet. There's still some time. So So don't tell them what you got. Okay, we'll let these other people take it and we'll see if that changes things. All right, everybody get out this sheet. Zach, so everybody except for Zach, put your Chromebook down because Zach has this on his Chromebook. Let's finish this up. We're gonna finish this up today. Yeah. Yeah, well, you just hang with me here and we'll figure this out. Okay. Oh yeah. I won't. I promise I won't. I'll just say like, oh yeah, you know, like they got like, they got some stuff to do. Yeah, they got a 9er. Oh yeah. So listen, I teach AP environmental science and I grade in the summertime. I go to Cincinnati. Of course, last summer we didn't get to go to Cincinnati. This summer we won't get to go to Cincinnati. But I go to Cincinnati to, I go to Cincinnati. You're welcome. Thank you for saying thanks. I appreciate that. Do you want to keep it in and like let it charge a little bit more for next?
There we go. That's extra vision.
Let's do it. All right. So here, give it to me and I'll just plug her in right here. So when I grade these things, okay, we're grading essays called free response questions.
Let me get that paper out.
And these, get this paper out because we're gonna fish it up and I'm picking this up today, folks. I'm picking this up today. Okay, Zach. So look, let me see where you're at. I was proud of you. You know, like you actually did some of this, man. I was worried that you're in a tractor every day. Okay, cool. Now listen. So I didn't get to finish my story about FRQs. When I do FRQ stuff, it's out of 10 points. Every year, the average is right what you got. Okay, so like, you know, like the fact that like it was out of 10 and you got a 3.1, that kind of meets like a national average of things like FRQs. I know Greta did say that one of her kids did get a 10. So I was like, no way, that's impossible. How's that possible? But she's like, no, it's like Science Olympiad kid or something like that. Yeah. Okay, you're on 9. Cool. Okay, so I'll help you out. We'll help you out. Okay, but just jump forward to, because we're actually at 23, right? Did you guys get 23? Okay, this is where we're at though, right? Okay, cool. So let me talk about enzymes, and I'm kind of going to jump the gun here, but let me explain that when we talk about enzymes, if you look at a textbook or sometimes even on a standardized test, you'll see this example of keys. Okay, so these are my keys. This key right here. Okay, do you think this key right here opens my car? Do you think this goes to my car? No. This. What do you think? Any guesses what this key is for right here?
A door.
Yeah, it's actually for my classroom. Okay, this is the key for my wife's car. Okay, well, it's our car, right? But this is our Vibe, our Pontiac Vibe. Of course, this is my key to my van because this is how they do now. And this is not my key to my van. This is my key to my house, right? Okay, so I got my school keys. I got my my car keys there. What's that?
It's not the keys to the trunk like it used to be.
That's so true, man. One time I had this Torino, Grand Torino, and it was green. It was cool. It had rust out the back in the trunk.
Yeah.
And one time I was driving, I'll never forget, and I took a corner pretty hard, and all of a sudden I heard something, and the tire iron, you know, for like a spare tire flew out the rust hole of the Torino. I had to like turn around and go get it. I have not thought about that story until right now for years. All right. So this key is very specific. If I try to use this, the Vibe key to get into this room, it's not going to work, right? Have you guys ever tried to like use a key, or you put the wrong key in and then it gets stuck, and oh man, I was getting that panic, like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get this. You give it like a little jiggle, you're like praying. Right. One time I did this at the junior high, put in the wrong key, and like it went in like nice, and then I turned it and nothing happened. And I was like, oh, that's the very wrong key. And I started to pull out and wouldn't pull out. I was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble, because it was the door the superintendent went in. You know, the lady that was in there the other day. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay, so here we go. We've got these enzymes, and enzymes are so incredibly important because help speed up reactions. And in this case, here's the examples, and you can just write these down. So it's carbohydrates, protease, lipase, polymerase, transferase. Now, do you remember what were the three letters that signified that we had a sugar? OSE, right? OS. What do you think the three letters are that tell us there's an enzyme? ASE. Okay. Thought you were going to leave the E out there, Myra. That made me real nervous there for a second, if you know what I mean there. Okay, I got real. All right, so carbohydrates, protease, lipase. When you see ASE, you know that that is an enzyme. When you see OSE, that's a sugar. But here's the great thing about these enzymes is they speed up the reactions. If we did not have enzymes in our body, we would be in we would be dead. Okay, we would not be able to survive because the food that goes into our body needs to be broken down to be able to use by cells. Okay, so carbohydrates do that. Proteases break down proteins. Okay, lipases break down lipids. Polymerases actually put things together. Okay, and then transferases transfer pieces of one molecule to another. Okay, so those are the ones. If you miss the first two blanks, enzymes are their own class of proteins. Okay, without enzymes, the chemical reactions would occur slowly. Okay, first blank, proteins. Second blank, slowly. Examples here. Okay, pretty cool stuff. Now we'll talk about more specific enzymes later, but let's go on with that example of the key. Okay, so if we're looking at something like amylase, this pink thing is amylase. Now you're gonna have to picture this on your own, but if I pull this down like this, okay, so the amylase goes away, you would have like a little finger like divot there. You would have a little like notch there, a little notch there, and these fit together perfectly, just like that model of the key inside the lock. So the term substrate, okay, is what we're acting on. The enzyme fits perfectly with the substrate. So in this case, we're now on 24. Okay, so right next to 23, it says station 24, a substrate is a molecule that enzymes acts upon. Okay, the enzyme is amylase. The substrate is a starch, or you could put glucose there. It's all sugar, or you could put sugar there. Amylase breaks starch down into glucose molecules, which are those, here's the word glucose molecules, individual. You can see here's the long starch, here's the glucose, here's the glucose, here's the glucose. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so like, remember, monomer is one thing. This is a monomer, this is a monomer, this is a monomer, but together it makes a polymer. The monomer is a glucose, the starch is the polymer. Okay, so when I eat a starchy food like mashed potatoes, right, my body can't use that starch. It has to break it down into the glucose. Because why do I need glucose, folks? Open doors, right? Okay, not like literally the glucose opening the doors, but the glucose breaking down to make ATP so I can open doors, right? Okay, it's all about that energy. Okay. The enzyme equals amylase. Okay, the substrate equals starch. If you put glucose down there, that's, I mean, it's going to end up breaking it down into glucose, but that's fine. Okay. Almost there, folks. We're almost there. All right. Here's this lock and key. Okay. Each enzyme only reacts with a particular substrate. For example, if you're eating a cheeseburger for dinner, amylase will only react with the starch found in the bun. It will not break down the other food molecules. Okay. So we need a different enzyme to break down the hamburger. We need a different enzyme to break down the cheese. Okay. That enzyme, this one, okay, let's say this is the bun one, right? This is the amylase. It's going after the bun, right? So it asks you to label these things. Enzyme, active site, substrate. And this is the enzyme substrate complex. You do not have to answer the why, that's fine, okay? You could just say, if you eat a cheeseburger for lunch, amylase will only react with the starch. The active site of the enzyme is the specific area where it bonds with the substrate, okay? The active site, okay? I know, we're actually not even gonna do the last one, so we're just gonna do 26, yes.
For station 24.
Yep.
The substrate is.
This substrate is starch, yep, long starch, yep, you got it.
What's the last one?
Uh,
Blank.
the last one, 25,
Yeah.
that's the active site. Active site. All right, the last one here for us today, and then I'll tell you what, if we weren't in COVID, I would give you all a cracker, okay?
A what?
A cracker,
A cracker?
but we'll
We
talk
have a
about the cracker. Holly, want a cracker? Yeah, is that a question? Okay, cool.
What?
All right, here's the last thing. Let's talk about this, the enzyme substrate complex. Once the substrate bonds with the enzyme, it temporarily forms this complex, okay? Once products are formed, they're released and the enzyme is free to react again. So the enzyme doesn't just go away. It's like you don't make a new key unless, of course, you lose your key, right? That's a bummer. Anybody ever, lost their keys before? My wife often says, "Where's my keys? Where's my phone? Where did I put my phone? Where did I put my keys?" Now we have like a special hook for our keys, right? Yeah, that's where we put the keys. This is where we put them. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. No kidding. So, but yeah, doors in the door.
Doors will be open.
Oh, the door's already open. I think the door's at the door. Go on. This, oh, I know why. It's like, anyway, okay, I don't have to get a new key, right? I can use the same key. So this is already labeled for you. I'll tell you what to put, but here's the substrate entering the active site. Here it is. Okay. Now that changes shape. Notice we've changed color here. So there's products, right? Before we had a starch, now we had a glucose. In this case, amylase and starch would be smaller glucose broken apart. That's the product. So number one, it says, describe the enzyme substrate complex. Okay, just put like lock and key there. Put lock and key, that's fine. Okay, that's a great way to put it. Okay, number two, it says, what is formed from the enzyme substrate complex? You're going to put products. Could be one product, could be many products. The next one says, using amylase and starch as an example, what are the products? And we would say glucose, right? Because before we had the long starch, now my products are glucose. That's what I want. So my cells can use it. My cells can't use the starch, okay? My cells can use the glucose because that's a part of that process of cellular respiration that we'll talk about later. And then finally, right here at the end, okay, it says, oh, I guess there's two more, sorry. Only amylase has broken down starch. Can it break down another? Yes. It doesn't go away. It's just like my key example. Okay, this key, okay, as long as it's in my possession, I'll be able to use it to start my car and to open my door. When I got this, when we bought our van, by the way, they said, whatever you do, don't lose this key, right? Because if you get a replacement for this key, you know how much these are? $250. Okay, because they're all like, it's like a mini computer here. Okay, so, you know, one time this summer, we were at a pool. The kids thought it was really going to be funny if they pushed me in. And I said, and they did. I wasn't prepared. And I had my keys in my pocket and I pulled them out and I instantly saw $250 going like down the toilet. Luckily, I quickly like got it out, like opened it up, dried it out. Still worked. I was super mega nervous. Okay. And then Christmas would have been canceled at that point. No. All right. If you notice at the right, there's one other thing. It says And then it's this last sentence, right? Enzymes can join smaller molecules together, resulting in one large product. Now, let me talk about number 27 real quick, and then I'm going to come around and pick these up. Okay, but 27, and Zach, if you, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give you this, and if you could, on your thing, fill in the rest. And if you don't get it done today, just take this with you. Okay? But thank you for working on that. I'm so proud of you for doing that. Okay, so if I gave you a cracker, okay, and we did the cracker challenge, it actually scares me to do this with you guys
Just do
because
it.
of what could happen, mostly because of Trace. Okay, but here's the challenge. If I gave you a saltine cracker, okay, and I said put it in your mouth and chew, okay, and then see if you can keep it in your mouth after you chew. We're gonna like
It's
chew
just
for
not
like 30
possible.
seconds and then keep it in there for the rest of the period, right? Have you ever done this before? A saltine cracker. What happens to the saltine
It
cracker?
just starts to disappear.
It gets incredibly liquidy, right? To the point where I've done this and you can, this is gross, but you can squish the cracker
Through your mouth.
through your
tongue.
teeth,
Yeah.
right? Like that's how liquidy it gets. Why does that happen? Well, your digestive system, automatically everybody thinks about your stomach or your butt, you know, that kind of stuff. But it all starts in the mouth, right? You're chewing, and when you start chewing, that saliva starts producing and it starts breaking down that food. Now, I went this morning, I'm so bummed out. I have this great book and I was going to read a section out of it. And I cannot find it. I didn't lend you my Gulp, did I? Man, my Gulp is gone. So there's this great book called Gulp. And if you're interested in the digestive system, this woman, Mary, do you remember what her last name is? Mary.
No, but they interview her on a radio lab.
Oh, do they?
The radio lab.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole chapter on spit. And not only just the digestive properties, but also there are some really, really interesting immune system stuff. Like maybe like making out is really not as bad for you as like, I love your faces. Okay. Like they talk about how, listen to this. This is kind of gross. They talk about how Eskimos, like you read the book, right, Greta?
You have the cracker.
Do you remember that part where like the Eskimos, okay, you've also often heard of the Eskimo kiss, right? Where, you know, you do the, like the nose thing. Well, they do this the other thing where they will, if a kid has a cold, like let's say my kid has a cold, instead of giving them a Kleenex, that in Eskimo tradition is they will go up to the nose and suck out the snot, right? Do you remember this part? Can you back me up on that? I'm not making this up, right? You don't remember that part? Oh my God, I'll never forget it. All right, I know. Okay, make sure your name is on this. What's that? Oh, I love
That's disgusting. I would get one of Eskimos.
Are you grossed out, dude?
A little bit.
Jeez.
All right, guys, I'll take the rest of them. Okay, peace out, everybody. Have a great day. Hey, they did good, Greta, on the thing.
Nice throw, Sam.
Yeah, thanks.
Better. Oh my God.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
A little bit. Oh God. Yeah. Burn.
Yeah, dude, I didn't let you out early enough. Yeah, help. You need help? Okay. You're not, okay, sure. Take your time, whatever you want to do, dude.
I was just going to.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, do it. I know, I miss talking to
I
you.
missed my car.
I bet you do.
I haven't ran it in maybe a week.
Oh my gosh, a week?
Maybe.
That's insane, man. Your car probably misses you. Do you at least get to see it?
I see it.
Yeah. Where's it parked?
My dad's shop.
That's cool.
It's sitting outside, so
Nice.
Why are you in that wheelchair?
spring wind.
Oh.
You hit the dirt or you hit the gym floor, right?
Worst pain in my life.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man, dude. Are you, is it feeling better?
I think it's starting to, because I'm moving it. Oh, I don't have a brace on today either, but I
Yeah.
think it's starting to get better.
Cool. That's great.
And they said it could be like 2 weeks.
Dang, I'm so glad that it's not
I know.
broken. I mean, that could have been a
Waste, my fave.
major bummer.
Yeah.
It was bad.
All right, well, have a good weekend.
You
Don't
too.
let Jason Voorhees get you this today.
So
You know that? You know that
how are we
reference?
doing this? Because we
Friday
both
the
have a car here.
13th, right?
Oh, yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Voorhees.
Take mine to my
Right.
Don't
house.
let him chop your face off, man.
Are you driving to Fort?
You're like a lame duck
I-
who loves
you can.
those, you know? Watch your back for
We're
anybody with
jamming.
a hockey mask, Lincoln.
Of course.
Yeah.
Get down
Yes.
to class. Don't make
I
sure.
might do a live video.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so I push it, yeah.
Hayden's like,
I wanna push
you
it.
know, Seth is just kidding, right? I was like, I'm
He-
not laughing.
Am I laughing?
It's funny.
No, but he would deadass. He did tell me that at lunch.
Ew. Bye.
Do you know who that is?
Like, not real. Like, I don't know her, but I know.
But you like
Yeah.
know what she looks like.
Yeah.
You know of her.
Bye.
She used to ask me all the time to hang out when her and Blake were whatever they were.
Do you like her?
Never hung out with her. I egged her house before.
I don't like any honey.
No, but I've egged her house before, so
Yeah.
that makes you feel better. Also egged Bailey's house.
Oh, fuck with that. Tested in here. Z-line.
Z-line. It's in the.
This is Acton Atkinson.
Will you go on your
Yeah.
Will you sit up here and I will Somebody told me that it's literally. Somebody told me that it's in this order. So will you sit up here and I look at
It
it?
is.
What this is?
Yes. I'll just get on. Yes. Yes.
Especially with the freaking thing.
Yeah.
And you don't do this part, the myofilament.
Yes.
You don't
It's
do
only
that.
like the Z-line,
Yeah.
Sarcomere, Iosin, Acton. Yeah.
But it's on your computer, so I can honestly just hide my phone.
The test is on the computer. I'm scared.
For what? I'm scared she's gonna be.
Please, she wants to beat our ass.
I'm so scared. You know what the funny thing is? She said that the last time, and did she? No. I hate the fact that her and her little friend group continue to call me a pussy because funny thing about it is she's the fucking pussy because before it happened,
Her two friends, that one
Yeah.
cousin.
Because before it happened, the last time, me and Carly both tried getting her to come in the bathroom and she wouldn't. She blocked me. So when I caught her in the bathroom,
Well, you know.
but the fact that I saw her hiding behind
Like,
the door the
there's
other day.
no doubt about it. I'd beat her.
Yep.
Like, I promise you. Like,
Yep.
she talks, she says shit. She did that shit.
Okay, hey, listen. Are we talking about the job?
No,
Okay.
never.
No.
I just don't want to cause any shit in my classroom. Yeah,
No,
Not
we're
in your
not,
classroom.
we're not.
Maybe outside your classroom,
yeah.
but not
Okay,
in
dear
your.
God. All right. I want safe space, right?
Yeah, this is definitely safe.
Like, I'm,
Really safe.
I'm just genuinely so over it. Like, I just don't give any fucks.
Yeah, I get it. Just-
You ever get like that one where you
Like,
just
I just
don't
don't
give any?
care. I don't, like, it's not worth my time, you know?
Yeah, it's not worth it. But it's- I get it.
How was your workout this morning?
How'd you know this worked out?
Did you work out every morning?
It was great. It was actually, I stayed up late. Oh, yeah. I stayed up late to watch the Colts win. It was awesome. But then I thought I was going to be dead this morning. And
You actually weren't.
I was not. Like, it was like a really good workout. I got more pull-ups than I had in a while. So.
We are doing weight room right now, Jim, and my legs
Are you killing me?
are killing me. Me walking through the mall today.
I literally
I'm
died.
gonna make somebody carry you.
I will. I'll carry you.
Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. I just want boba.
Never had.
We're getting it.
Alright.
We're getting it.
I'm gonna ask my grandma for some money because she's the one who's signing my tanning paper because my dad's going to DC apparently.
Woo!
I literally called him and I was like, hey, are you gonna be home after school? And he's like, no, I'm going to DC. And I was like, what? He goes, I'm going to DC. I said, Washington, DC? And he's like, yeah, I'm leaving right after work.
All right, let's
I was like, for what? And he goes, you know, the Trump rally.
Yeah, you know.
You know, you should know.
It
Jeez.
had like some for the imaging. It was so weird. And then she did the IV and then just
Right on glasses. Yo, come look at how many bitches he's on right now.
And I got
So many.
So many bitches?
I feel like you keep your hands. And it was so hot. And I was like, I feel like I'm here. She's like, you're not.
Right. I have the same thing. All right, here we go.
It was just like, and it was
Cross your fingers. This is that thing I was telling you about. Like this is the, see that little green thing? Let's try, let's try.
I have the
Oh,
Heard it clicked out.
right there. I have the
see, it's gotta be a PC.
Want to try it on the computer back there?
That's a thing. It has to be a PC. Sorry, not a personal computer, sorry, like a, what do they call it? Non-Mac.
Like with the monitor.
No, like one that's like Microsoft, like, what's the opposite of Mac? Why can't I, it's PC, right? Is that what they call it?
Bernard, do people eat goldfish?
Yeah.
So we could have some sushi?
Yeah, so, okay, so if you could.
Me and Belle are
Open this up
hungry.
at
We'll
home.
come back here for dinner.
We want some
tonight.
sushi.
I want some sushi.
I know we're getting free sushi.
How about all the bugs in there? And the dead rat in there? And the blood in there?
Like, I mean, I can plug this in, but I can look, let's try it.
well,
Let's try it.
would it work if like I plug that into my desktop and then I had like a little like what's that called? A disk? A little file disk? with,
Like a flash drive?
Yeah, would that work?
Only if you took, I mean, the problem is, whose wig is it? Oh, it's been on,
Because like the dumb.
This is Snowbird's wig.
it's been on this guy for a long time. Okay, let's look. Open files app. Okay. Okay, here we go. You could try it.
Come here, Alexa.
You got a hairline?
Stand
Yeah.
up.
Let me put my other one.
Here, let me try
Oh,
my
that's a good idea.
You're double.
Won't do it.
Catherine, do you really, are you really the person?
I guess.
Bring like a desk.
Are we talking about who's Manchester couples?
Yeah.
I would love to know the answer to that too.
Hey,
You follow him?
no, you gotta put
I
like
almost
that.
followed the other day, but I was like, I don't know if I want to
I follow
see
the
this.
2.0 account and their
Doesn't work. Okay, so what we'll do is, so you will, like, you would still have to take screenshots of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to, even if you put like, I mean, if you take the screenshots and like put them on a flash drive and then give it to me, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be in a JPEG file or a PNG file. Does that make sense? Sorry, what about me?
It's really cool though because
I can't, yeah, I want to see your
on the
ovaries.
MRI,
Uh,
on the MRI, you can see it like,
Okay,
I tried
There
this
we go.
new hairdo this year.
all right, listen up. I gotta see if any of my peeps are on here.
maybe one more time.
Oh, wow.
Sid calling us home.
What's happening? Why is she doing
We don't know.
Fire deep. What? I mean, oh, I don't like this. I don't like